Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today.
Hey ladies, this is your official invitation to join us on the Winner's Circle Cruise in January. We're going to meet in Fort Lauderdale and go through Key West. And then from Key West, we are going to go over to Bimini, Bahamas. If you have not been to the Bahamas in the last year or so, you've got to go. It is so wonderful, so lovely, so awesome. So far, we've got a good group of ladies that are already signed up. The max to go is 24, unless something wild happens, but 24 is the max. If you received the flyer from me, you know that you need to go ahead and get your deposit down. So we'll spend the first day in Fort Lauderdale getting on the cruise. It'll spend a day on the water. We'll get over to Key West, spend a day there. That'll be day 3. And then for day 4, we will be in Bimini, Bahamas, and we will spend an entire day there where we will just foo-la-la, foo-la-la, foo-la-la. And the final day, we will be back in Fort Lauderdale. I do suggest that you get to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the night before the cruise. I have seen people be left, so don't be one of them. Now, if you want to leave the day we get back, the cruise is going to be back. By the time you get off, it'll be 10. So if you want to book you a flight, book it after 10 or noon. You just saw the beautiful rooms that we are going to be booking. Yes, every room will have a balcony unless you declare otherwise. Now look at that water. Can you tell me you don't want to be there? Look at all of those good markets. You telling me you don't want to be with the Winner's Circle? The Winner's Circle is for women owners of businesses that want to get together with other women from all over different places to be able to mastermind, to talk about our businesses, to grow, to support one another, to hear others' perspectives on how you can do things different in your business to be the best business and to grow your business. Anything that you can't talk about with other people, this is a great time. Join us on the Winner's Circle Cruise. Hey, mothers and daughters, I have a great show for you today, and it is all about the tea. Now, I am not talking about the gossip tea. I'm talking about real tea. I'm talking about herbal teas. I'm talking about medicinal teas. I just thought today when I got up, I said, I just really want to share with the listeners my love for tea. There's a lot you don't know about me, but a little bit more and more I'll be telling you. Oh, the other thing I want to show you. Today I have on my Mother-Daughter-ish podcast show, and whenever I go to events, I wear this shirt. Sometimes I'll go and I'll have on my International Ladies of Purpose travel group shirt. There's a commercial in here all about it. So if you have not heard more about it, I would like to let you know about our upcoming Winner's Circle January 6th through 10th cruise. Anyway, let's get into the tea. Look at this great tea back here. Listen, I am probably like most of you where you used to probably just go to the store and get your box of tea, and in it there would be the little tea bag that you can dip. I started doing a little bit of research maybe about 7 years ago about those plastic microbial type things with the tea bag. And I said, you know what? Every time I'm out of the country, whenever I order tea or buy tea or go to a tea farm, it's always encouraged to purchase loose leaf tea. So that's what I started doing. Loose leaf, I ground it up sometimes to make it powder. I do all kinds of things with my tea. I'm not even a coffee drinker, but I bought a coffee grinder just to grind up the tea to just make it a bigger deal for me. Now, I'm going to go through a few teas, and then I'm going to show you some of mine. Little sneak peek. This is my sour sop tea. That's just a little sneak peek. Now, I know with the background on here, it might act a little weird, but that's okay. We're going to push through and keep on going. So Some of the top teas, of course, are going to be your peppermint tea. Now, you probably say, well, why is it considered a top tea? Because peppermint tea is good for nausea and stomach pain. I'm going to tell you something. Whenever I buy the Dr. Bronner's hair shampoo and I wash my hair with it, it just gives me a tingle all day long. Same thing happens when I drink peppermint tea. My stomach feels good. My, nasal passage is cleared. I don't know the science behind any of what I'm telling you today, but that one is one of the top teas. I'm going to go through 6 of them, by the way, and then I'm going to show you a few of the ones I have. And then I'm going to show you what tea I'm drinking today. And by the way, I do drink tea every day, 2, 3, 4 times a day. I'll drink it warm, mostly in the morning time, and then I'll drink it cold midday. And then I like warm tea before I retire to bed. I like how I said that, retire to bed. But anyway, hibiscus tea, sneak peek. That's what I'm drinking today with some other stuff that I'll tell you about. But the hibiscus tea helps with high blood pressure and respiratory issues. I'm about to say something that's going to probably make you feel like I'm really weird, and this happens all the time, by the way, this is not anything new. Yesterday, when I woke up, because every morning I wake up, I want to remember my dreams because my dreams are so vivid. I feel like I've either been there before or I feel like I've been there before. Like it's nothing new to me, or I feel like that's the world that I actually am in, even though I'm here. But yesterday when I woke up, all I can remember is how I beat this woman. And okay, let me back up. Let me tell you why I did it. So, some kind of way, my car ended up in the bottom of a mountain, and everybody else was at the top. And I had to figure out how to climb from the bottom to the top. And when I got to the top, there's a lot of strange things. I'm not even going to explain it because you're not going to get it, probably. A lot of strange things going on at the top. But anyway, I had my little stuff that I had in the car, and inside of there was some written documents, some everything. Never in my dreams do I ever have a cell phone. Thank God. So anyway, I had this written thing, and one of these things was like a written way on for me to get out of there and back to wherever I'm supposed to be because I landed there. And so there's this girl that she was just a nutcase, I guess. And she came over to me and she looked in my basket and she took my paper and she chewed it up. Again, remember, this is my way to get back home. So she took my paper out of remember, this is a dream, disclaimer. She took my paper out of this basket that I had and she put it in her mouth. And she chewed it up. First of all, you put your spit on my paper. Second of all, you chewed up my directions on how to get back to where I'm supposed to be. And then she ran to the front part of her house and I ran after her. So, in my dream, I'm running for real. So by the time I wake up, my heart is beating fast and I felt like my blood pressure was up. I just was like, I was so angry for a second. But when I got a hold of that girl, I beat her head into the wall and into the floor and into her door. And I'm not a violent person, but in my dream, I was absolutely violent. And when I woke up, I was so upset because one, I did that to her. Two, I didn't stop. I woke up out of the dream like it was like my spirit was saying, "No, this is not what we do." So when I woke up, I was like, "Man, I'm glad that was a dream because that was so violent." But I often have dreams where I'm running or I'm falling or something. And when I say falling, not like falling to my death, but like I'm flying or whatever. It's so strange to me, but I love remembering my dreams. Chai tea, CHAI. It enhances the immune system and fights inflammation. I can remember years ago Dr. Sadie saying, one of our number one problems in our body with disease and issues is mucus and inflammation. And then he, of course, talks about soursop a lot, especially when Lisa Left Eye Lopez went over there to see him. But he talked about soursop a lot, and he talks about sea moss and all of those things to get inflammation. And I'm going to tell you why I know this has to be true for me. Doesn't matter what everybody else thinks, but has to be true for me. Because before I stopped eating meat, when I would eat chicken, my joints would hurt, my shoulders, my knees, my ankles. It would just my wrists, just things would hurt. And I didn't eat chicken for about a week. And then I said, I'm going to try it again. It hurt. It's just like when I gave up eating pork. Whenever I would eat pork chops or whatever, instant headache. Beef, instant swelling of the stomach, just looking like 5 months, 6, 7, 8, 9 months pregnant. Not nine, but 5, 6 months pregnant. So I didn't just give up meat just for some, oh, I'm giving up meat. No, this had to do with the way it was treating my body. And a lot of that I had to clear out by drinking on herbal teas and by doing certain things. I'm not a girl that's going to go over to the gym and do any kind of exercise is not my thing. I love to dance. So when I'm at home, I'll put on something. I used to be a member of Jazzercise years ago when my kids were little, and that was fun. But I have a whole body vibration machine in my closet that I will go in and do. I just was looking at it last night going, haven't seen you in a week, even though I've been in the closet every day, but hadn't seen that whole body vibration machine in a week. And I was like, I better get back to it. So that's the kind of movement that I like to do with my body. So there were just things that my body was showing me and telling me and proving to me in my skin and other things that I was like, okay, I have to give this thing up and then I'll add some good things in. Chamomile is very beneficial for sleep. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're not getting enough sleep, then definitely try some chamomile tea because it will help to soothe you and things like that. I could tell you something before I go to bed if I feel excited or anxious or still wired up from the day, and that happens a lot. If I drink some tea, get a good sit down warm bath. And yes, I bathe in my teas. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Get a good warm bath, a good pat dry off. I'm telling you, instant. I don't even have to think about going to sleep. It's instant. Now that I'm drinking more tea and doing a lot more herbal things during the day, when I've done a lot, about between 1 and 3, I just get sleepy and my mind says, go get in the bed. Wrap your hair up, get comfortable, go to sleep. Now, when I go to sleep, my intention is always 30 to 45 minutes, but sometimes it's 2 hours. And I wake up and I feel like, okay, next act, and I'm ready to do whatever the next thing is. The next tea I'm going to talk about is oolong, Oolong. It's high in polyphenol and it can help with stress. When I was in Malaysia, I think that was 2012 or 2014, and I was there with a group. By the way, that word is polyphenol, Polyphenole. Different pronunciations, different people. We went to a tea farm. I've been to maybe 5 now, but we went to a tea farm in Malaysia and they showed us how they, grow the tea, pick the tea, prepare the tea for sale, sell it grind, sell it whole, right off the and it was just so interesting. Every tea that I bought, and I think that was when I kind of started my journey of I'm never drinking another, tea in a tea bag again, which was why I was so upset yesterday. I went to a networking meeting and at the tea company, I asked for hibiscus tea and they gave me the tea and it was in 2 bags inside of my cup. And I went, oh my God, because my mind told me to bring my little deal, that I put my tea in. And my mind told me to bring that and then just ask for some hot water. And if they charged me $1 or $2 or whatever for the hot water, it didn't matter as long as I could drink my own tea. But I didn't do that because I didn't want to offend, the tea place because they made $4 off of me with a 25-cent bag and some hot water. And I guess I paid for the cup. So I was there to network and to get with the ladies. So I just kind of brushed it off and didn't think too much about it. Matcha tea. Matcha tea boosts energy levels and reduces brain fog. When I was in my 20s, to reduce brain fog, especially when I was doing college courses and all that kind of stuff, I would always do ginkgo and it would be always in PO form. Now I have ginkgo tea and things like that. But matcha tea, if it can do the same thing, you can mix it with some other tea. I'm so good at mixing all my different types of teas. I have a little heart-shaped thing that I dip down in my hot water. And sometimes I'll have dried pineapples with different tea. I'll have my hibiscus tea because that one I drink every day. And then I might have white tea and then maybe some lemongrass or something like that mixed in it for taste, for smell, for all of that. So matcha tea, if it can do the same thing, I bought some matcha tea recently, so I have not tried that one yet, but that's one of the ones I'm trying today. And I just want to see if it does work for boosting the memories and all that stuff. probably shouldn't take it before bed because with my dreams being so vivid, let me tell you, there's no telling what I may dream. If I even told y'all some of the things that I've dreamed, I had to actually get a binder and I had to start writing. You see this binder? I had to start writing my dreams down. That's how vivid and how real they seem. That sometimes I have said to myself, I don't know if that was real or if it wasn't because it was so vivid. It felt like it actually happened for me. I know most people say to me, but I say for me. White tea, it's highest in antioxidants, which is why I like to drink white tea. I'll tell you what my blend is today, which is why I like white tea. But those are some of the what they call top teas. So, just so you know, for today, and I took the top off of it so that the water could kind of cool off. But and by the way, you can get these cups, these coffee cups, you can get them in the dollar store. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, now so I'm gonna leave the top off just so that it can get a little coolness into it. But the tea I'm drinking today is hibiscus. I'm drinking white tea. I'm drinking dried up pineapples and dragon fruit tea mixed with it as well. And then just a little bit sprinkles of chamomile because I don't want to get too tired before the day is gone. But now that I've gone through that, I want to show you some of my tea collection. Now listen, if you could see behind me, you'd see that I have bookshelves everywhere. And this bookshelf behind me is probably holding 200 books or plus, all business books, all things that I've gotten such great knowledge from. Well, I have now started in my personal bed space, in my closet area, and around my studio, not in the studio, stay I'm in my regular office, but I have started even putting together bookshelves, but of tea. What I wished I had done in here is I wish I'd not put so many candles in the interim and that I would have just added some of the teas here. Just so you know, I want to show you. Like I have a lot of candles everywhere. Oh, it smells so good. So many candles everywhere. I'm gonna talk about candles one day too, and talk about how you can make your own with essential oils. I buy a lot of mine that have essential oils from different herbal stores. But okay, let's get into the tea. So as I told you, Dr. Sabi always talks about soursop tea and what it's good for. And I want to talk about the teas that I have. And then I want to kind of share with you also what these teas are good for because I think that we need to know what the teas are good for before I guess I will use the word before we start a tea regimen. Sounds weird to even say tea regimen, but that's exactly what it is a tea regimen. So I got my spectacles on here so you know it's the real deal. So soursop tea is very rich in antioxidants, and soursop contains compounds like flavonoids, polyphenols, which is what we just talked about. It's alkaline. It's an immune boosting tea, and it's good for digestive support. I bought a big one. As you can see, it says soursop on it. I bought a big one, and I bought it from a location that's here in Houston. I'll talk all about the locations last. But I bought this soursop tea because it's really good in antioxidants, but I also know that it helps with cancer patients and all that. Of course, you can't make disclaimers and say, "Oh, it cures anything," but I'm just saying that it's really good for you. So if you have not heard about soursop tea, you may want to look into the soursop tea and see if it might be something that's good for you. I know I was in a location at Grinnell's, is one of the places I buy tea from, and I was there, and there was a lady there. She was wanting to know, what things she could get for her mom that had cancer or whatever. And I just pulled her to the side and I was like, have you ever, heard of Dr. Sabi? He talks about this, and this. And soursop is supposed to be, one of those teas that's supposed to be good for you. So I was telling her about this bag. And by the way, this is a pretty big size bag. And I got it for like maybe $5 or something like that. It was very affordable. I'm gonna put all the teas that I go through back over here. All right, so that's the soursop tea, and that's what that one is good for. Lemongrass tea. I make my lemongrass tea in the midst of everything else. I don't just do it by itself. Sometimes when I make the tea, I bathe in it. Sometimes I'll add it to my soaps and things like that. All of these teas that I'm talking about, I've made some type of soap with it. I've made some type of bubble bath situation with it, some type of herbal bath with it. So lemongrass tea is supposed to be good for calming and stress. It's also a digestive aid, so good for the tummy, and it's antimicrobial. So it's again good for your gut system. So this particular one, now I see why all the YouTubers put their hands here, because when you have a background, sometimes it won't show. But anyway, this lemongrass tea that I use here, I use it in the midst of all of my other teas that I have. I love the way lemongrass tastes. I like the way it smells. I love it in soaps. I love it in all of those type of things. Now, this one I got from a store that is near me called H Mart in Katy, Texas. And H Mart is also in Bel Air and Houston. And I don't know where else they're located, but I got the green tea powder because I have so many different versions of different types of green teas. But this one that I'm going to show you is in the powder form. The reason I like the powder form is because when I'm traveling, I can just get those little small Ziploc bags and I can just put my powder in there. And then if I'm taking 5 or 6 teas, I know I've got enough to be gone for 2 weeks because I've got 5 or 6 that I can just kind of mix together, and I have my little size determiner. So it's high in antioxidants. It's a good metabolism booster. So that means that it'll help to keep you cleaned out. And it's good for relaxation and mental clarity. Now, let me tell you something. Any of these teas that are going to be good for mental clarity and all of that, it's like, come on, we got to be using some of these teas for some of our health aids. But this is my green tea matcha powder that I have. And I'm just like this pictures that you see in the back. Because this one right here, you could tell it's got hibiscus in it, it's got rose petals, it's got all kind of stuff. I'm like that. I will take so I go to Dollar General, or sorry, Dollar Tree, $1.25 tree to us that are still upset about that. But I go to Dollar General and I will get these jars. And these jars are pretty to me. I like the way they look here. And I like the fact that they have the rose gold top. And this is where I put all of my teas. And I have a refrigerator full of teas. I have shelves full of teas. Um, because I drink tea every day. There's just no way I'm gonna run out of any tea. Now, I started taking the chamomile flower tea as well, because the chamomile flower tea just it smells a little bit different than the regular chamomile tea. So I wanted to do the flower, but then also by me having the flower, I can also put these flowers in my candles that I burn, and I can so see, when you do the chamomile flower, it just smells just so herbal and just so good. I like when I'm drinking tea and then the smell gets all over the room. But the chamomile flower is really good for controlling weight and appetite and things like that. So that's why I started drinking it, because I know that it's a good one. And this one is a pretty good brand. Again, I got these teas from Grinnell's. Grinnell's is a store that's in Houston. I did a whole podcast on it. If you want to go back through the playlist and look at our trip to Grinnell's, you'll be able to see that herbal shops. Um, and Grinnell's has all types of teas. What I like about them is they get a lot of their teas from some of the other countries like Mexico and, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, some of those countries. And I like when I go to other countries, I'm looking for handmade soap with their ingredients. I'm looking for teas that are unique to their area. And I'm looking for those type of things that are natural medicinal type of things. Now, I have my hibiscus tea here. Now, this is small. These are the Ziploc bags that I was telling you that I use. And the reason I use these is because I can travel with them. My hibiscus bag is this big. I'm not exaggerating. I should have brought it. It's this big, and I just keep putting it in jars and putting it in bags to travel with. But I got that whole big, huge bag of hibiscus loose leaf tea from a herbal shop at the farmer's market on Airline Drive in Houston, Texas, across from Grinnell's. And I got that whole big bag for $5. I was able to scoop out big Ziploc bags to give to my daughter. I was able to scoop out big bags and give it to my other daughter. And then I still had a big bag of tea. So much so that that's one of the reasons I drink hibiscus tea every day, because that one I have the most of out of everything. Oh, I didn't have to slurp. Woo! That's a good blend. I'm telling you. And like the other day, I was at the store and I saw some dried apricot. So I bought the dried apricot, put them in the freezer. And so I said, since they're dried apricot, I'm going to start just like I do with the dried pineapple. I'm going to start throwing chunks of apricot in my different teas too. Again, to me, it's about smell. It's about taste. It's about, I just like good smelling tea, and just like one of the reasons I don't drink coffee is because I don't want it on my breath. I don't want to smell coffee on my breath. I don't want to smell coffee on anyone's breath, which is why I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't, consume any kind of coffee, because once it gets into the breath, it just does not, to me personally, it doesn't smell good. But the tea, it just gets all over your taste buds and your mouth. And like literally my breath right now just smells like a bouquet of flowers. I'm not exaggerating. Like my breath right now smells like a bouquet of flowers. And I feel very good about that, because when I'm in public and I'm talking to people and we're just going back and forth, and I'm confident that my breath is going to smell good. Of course, you go all day long. You may need to freshen up your breath or whatever, but I even have something for that. When I want to freshen up my breath, because I don't use traditional toothpaste, I don't ever use mouthwash, never have. I don't want that in my mouth. But I do have cloves. I have red cloves and I have whole cloves. And I have cloves that I will mix into like a tea formula. I'll put it in one of these jars, keep it in the refrigerator. And I have a little small refrigerator in my room as well, because I have all my coconut oils and all that in there. But I will take that clove water and I will swish it around in my in my mouth. And it doesn't stain my teeth or anything like that, but I do it especially before I brush my teeth and then after I brush my teeth, to just kind of swish it around. It keeps your breath, I can't even tell you, it keeps your breath so good smelling. Here's some of my matcha tea. We talked about what matcha tea was good for, but here's one of the smaller, older packs that I had before I bought the big one. This is when I was over at Grinnell and was like, you know what, I really need to get some now. And then I went to H Mart one day and I was just on a whole tea discovery exploration. I felt like I was Dora the Explorer, and I was exploring everything that they had the tea over there. Now, this little thing here, let me tell you something. This one I got in Savannah, Georgia a couple of weeks ago. I found this little place called uh something like Tea Haven or something like that. But anyway, this one is my dragon fruit infused herbal tea. Let me tell you why I like this one so much. I like this one so much because it has the dragon fruit. It has you can see the little chunks of you can see the little chunks of uh, pineapples right there, the little yellow things. That's the pineapple. It has some other herbal infused teas in it. It has some little bits of chunk. This is kind of where I'm moving to with these little plastic bags here, is taking those teas that I like to infuse and like say, okay, this is my tea for the week, and infusing them in this kind of way and having all kinds of infused tea that's in there. So I'm going to take a I'm going to take a picture of this one and I'm going to read to you everything that's in it. Oh, my matcha tea failed. Okay, so I'm going to read to you what's in that particular one and just show you how good. Okay, so this is a dragon fruit infused. Okay, so the name of the place was called the Spice and Tea Exchange. They are everywhere. While I was there, I told the lady, can I place an order and call it in? She said, yeah, and we have free shipping. I said, awesome, coming from Savannah to Texas. But she told me, she said, you have one in Houston. It's out in Katy. And I went, oh my gosh, I've been there before, but it's such a small store. It's probably why I didn't remember, because I've only been there maybe twice. But it's called the Spice and Tea Exchange. And it's in Savannah, Georgia, where I got blend, this particular blend from. But anyway, it's dragon fruit, and it's a dragon fruit infusion herbal tea. And it says this vibrant herbal blend combines the eclectic flavors of pink dragon fruit. Listen to me now. Pink dragon fruit, hibiscus. I told you, I knew it had hibiscus in it. And a pineapple, dried up pineapple to create a tropical vacation of taste. They ain't lying because I'm telling you, my breath smells so good right now. And it's ideal for those seeking a fruity, remember what I said about the breath? Fruity, refreshing, and smile-inducing cup of tea. Let me tell you something. When I saw this one, I said, I have to have it. Just the presentation of it. I'm sure I read a little bit, but forgot. I got so many teas, I forgot this one. But whenever I go traveling, I buy tea from different places. So that's how I ended up with that one. And then this particular one, yeah, I got my spectacles on. This particular. Okay, so this is the dandelion leaf. So there's a difference in the dandelion root and the dandelion flower and the dandelion leaf. So this one is my dandelion leaf one. Again, dandelion is really, really good for digestive health, for gut health, and all of that. And I know you probably hear a lot of people talking about gut health, digestive health, and all of that. But those are just some of the teas that I can share with you today. I have so many teas that I invest in. I call it investing in it because it's just smart to do that. But again, like I say, hibiscus tea is good for blood pressure. It's rich in vitamin C. So, like me this morning for breakfast, I had 3 oranges. I cut them up and I just ate those oranges. And I'm going to take those orange peels. And when I'm done here, I'm going to boil the orange peels just to get the smell in the house because I finished the kitchen. But while I'm mopping the kitchen, I want to be able to smell the oranges in it. So if you have fresh oranges or lemons or limes or anything, and you want just a natural good smell in the house, boil those substances. And I use my big gumbo pot, and I will just throw those limes in there because I'm eating on limes every day too. I'll throw those limes in there, throw those lemon peels in there, throw in the peels from the oranges and just let it boil all day long. Keep adding water as it decreases. But and then liver health is also what the hibiscus tea is good for. Now, as we mentioned about the chamomile flower tea, it's good as a sleep aid, a digestive relief, and it's also good to reduce anxiety. I'm telling you, that dream I was telling you about, it created for about 15 minutes of my life when I got up yesterday. It created a little bit of anxiety. And I'm just like, but why? Why did it have to be that way? Now, dragon fruit herbal tea is rich in vitamin C as well. So as you can see, I'm getting a lot of vitamin C. This one is the one that my hair was thanking me, my skin was thanking me, everything. It's good in hydration. Dragon fruit herbal tea. It's good in hydration and also antioxidant properties. Matcha powder tea is good for mental alertness, uh, uh, detoxification if you want to detox your body, and then it's nutrient rich. So all of that is really, really good. And I was just telling you a few minutes ago about, dandelion across the board being good for digestive aid, but good for the liver. And if you know how the liver processes everything, you might want to drink that tea. And I'm just saying, take 30 minutes of your day and just make up you a batch of tea that you could drink on all day long. I never owned a coffee pot and I still don't. I bought one and gave it away because I just don't want the mechanism of it. But now that I have found some ones that work better for me, like the glass one that has the, cup of tea that you can make all day long. It's a wood burning type of situation, like as if you were camping or whatever. That works better for me because I can sit it anywhere in my office studio or whatever, and I can just drink on tea all day long. But I just, made my batch of tea for the next 2 days. And then the cold tea, I've already put it in the freezer so that it can get cold and I can then take it and put it where it needs to go. But again, it's good for diuretic and it's good for bloating, antioxidant rich as well. So those are just some of the teas that I wanted to be able to share with you today. I hope that you like the beautiful picture behind me of all the teas, but I am just going to say this as a PSA. If you have not started thinking about a more herbal health, more natural health, consider it. Consider your tea. You can have it hot or you can have it cold. Consider looking up, let's just say you have eczema skin. You could go to whatever your source is, you look things up and say, what are great herbal teas? I ask, whatever source I use, very specific questions. What are the best or the top tea sources for eczema? What are the best top herbal teas for anxiety? What are the best top herbal teas for better looking skin? What are the best herbal teas or top herbal teas for great digestion and gut health and weight loss and mental clarity and all of those things? If you ask those very specific questions, you can also find out about all of these wonderful teas that I am talking to you about. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. Like, for example, I was telling you, I got this big, huge bag of this sour sop tea, and it was only like $5 or so. Wish I brought my hibiscus one in here, but my hibiscus bag was that huge, enough for me to give Ziploc bags to my girls and say, hey, here's your tea, here's your tea. And I still had tea, and I bought that tea maybe 90 days, maybe 120 days ago. And I still have a huge one because the one thing about loose leaf tea is it just seems like it just never goes out. It just never goes out. And then I keep taking handfuls and chunks and grinding it up to a powder so that I can get everything into my little thing that I infuse with my tea. And it just seems to, work out really, really well. This month of May, I'm going to be talking more about health. I'm going to be talking more about herbal. I'm going to be talking about those things that are going to help us, because as I've heard so many people say, health is wealth, and it's true. Think about it. If you want to start a business today, but you're not taking care of your health, you know, the chances of you being successful in that business could be lessened. I'm not saying you can't be. I'm just saying it could be lessened because you're not taking care of your health. Of course, there are going to be situations where you won't be able to take care of your health because maybe you have a particular disability. It doesn't matter if it's physical or if it's internal, but you may have a particular disability. But whatever you can do to help with your disability so that you get that little bit of burst of energy and enthusiasm to be able to, run your own business, I would say absolutely to do that. And those are just the things that I want to share with you about my teas. And I have probably right now 10, 20, 30, 40. I have probably about 48 teas right now. And on my list of some teas that I'll be getting this weekend on Sunday, they opened up a new Cavazos, which is in on at the farmers market on Airline, which is an hour away from me. But now I have one close to me for about 15, 20 minutes away that I can go to. And they opened up a new Cavazos in the Joe V's grocery store. And so I want to go over there and kind of check things out. And then I heard that they also have some of these tea infused soaps that they've made. So I know I make my own soaps, but I like to buy other people's soaps too. And I'm gonna talk real extensively about that one day because I have done a good job of collecting some soaps. But this month, I just really want to talk about natural health, and I really want to talk about herbal health, and I really want to talk about natural healing and things like that. And then June, I have an amazing series that's coming up where I will be interviewing women in business. I'll be interviewing those women to talk about how they got started, what they're doing, how they're loving it, what they're doing for networking, everything that you probably have wanted to know about how women navigate through this business space where we've been told all our lives that it's a man's world, but like James Brown says, but it wouldn't be nothing without a boy or a girl. So a woman, he says a woman or a girl. I don't know how I got that mixed up because I guess I'm thinking boy, girl creates human, whatever. So that's my show today on the teas that some of the teas that I wanted to share with you that I really, really love. I think the most important one that I wanted to share with you is the soursop tea and the hibiscus tea. I think that's the number one I wanted to share with you. Let me see. Baby, breath smelling like a bouquet of flowers. I promise you. I wish you were here to soak it all in with me. Sounds weird, huh? But I'm gonna go put my teas back in their prospective places because I like for things to be where I can just go and grab them and I know where they are. But thank you so much for listening to the show for today. I hope that you stay and see the commercial after so that you can learn more about our travel group of women where we do mastermind development and we talk about personal and professional things and just to help women to stay mentally sane in this world, this new world that we are having to navigate through. But thank you for listening to me at the Mother Daughter Ish Show. And until next time, bye. Hey, ladies, this is your official invitation to join us on the Winner's Circle Cruise in January. We're going to meet in Fort Lauderdale and go through Key West. And then from Key West, we are going to go over to Bimini, Bahamas. If you have not been to the Bahamas in the last year or so, you've got to go. It is so wonderful, so lovely, so awesome. So far, we've got a good group of ladies that are already signed up. The max to go is 24, unless something wild happens, but 24 is the max. If you received the flyer from me, you know that you need to go ahead and get your deposit down. So we'll spend the first day in Fort Lauderdale getting on the cruise. It'll spend a day on the water. We'll get over to Key West, spend a day there. That'll be day 3. And then for day 4, we will be in Bimini, Bahamas, and we will spend an entire day there where we will just foo-la-la, foo-la-la, foo-la-la. And the final day, we will be back in Fort Lauderdale. I do suggest that you get to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the night before the cruise. I have seen people be left, so don't be one of them. Now, if you want to leave the day we get back, the cruise is going to be back. By the time you get off, it'll be 10. So if you want to book you a flight, book it after 10 or noon. You just saw the beautiful rooms that we are going to be booking. Yes, every room will have a balcony unless you declare otherwise. Now look at that water. Can you tell me you don't want to be there? Look at all of those good markets. You telling me you don't want to be with the Winner's Circle? The Winner's Circle is for women owners of businesses that want to get together with other women from all over different places to be able to mastermind, to talk about our businesses, to grow, to support one another, to hear others' perspectives on how you can do things different in your business to be the best business and to grow your business. Anything that you can't talk about with other people, this is a great time. Join us on the Winner's Circle Cruise.